the former Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, and at the heart of this particular issue on the line with us, Professor Prof Frimpong Boateng. Guten Morgen, good morning, Prof. Welcome to GTV Breakfast.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the program.
It's great to hear your voice. So I'm reading on, we have reported that Shraj wants to hold a public hearing on this report. What are your thoughts about this?
Oh, I can't change it. Shraj is an important state institution, and if they want to do that, who am I? I will cooperate with them as much as I can so that we build a better country for ourselves and for the generations to come.
Do you feel in any way vindicated by this decision by Shraj?
Well, yes. I was not expecting any other verdict.
You were not expecting any other decision from Shraj?
Pardon me?
You said you were not expecting any other decision from Shraj. Is that what you said?
Yes, because we had done nothing wrong. And in fact, what my son did was exemplary. And if you give me a chance, I will explain.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, you see, I had a company called Symphony, which was registered in 1990 or so, doing various businesses. And then my son finished his national service at Anglo Gold Ashanti. Sorry, maybe I should have mentioned the name, Boateng. And after that, he said, look, if you look around the Ghana scene, people are doing all sorts of destroy the environment and so on. So I want to start a large-scale company that will be exemplary. So I said, go ahead. And then he wanted to register a company. I said, oh, don't do it. Just take our old company to register general department, let them add managing component to it, then go ahead. So he went ahead and he was given several concessions, but then he decided that look, he could not work on 5 concessions, so he gave 3 away and concentrated on 2. The 2, he did reconnaissance studies. And if after the reconnaissance, if you go to the field, you will not even see anything that anybody has entered the forest. Mm-hmm. After that, he started prospecting the land. And it was done in such a way that if you go there, you will not even see any trace of any machine. You know, he had his people from British Guyana with very with good machines going to the field just to take samples. That is reconnaissance. It's not reconnaissance doesn't mean bring excavators and start, destroying the soil. Mm-hmm. So it's an exemplary work. If you go to where he was now, you will not see the trace of any machine or any earth-moving machine. But then during the reconnaissance work, disturbances or war broke out in the area, and there was a curfew. In fact, even the curfew is still in place between the disturbances between Drobo and Jatokum. So he wrote to the Minerals Commission that look, because of this disturbance, suspended work. That was about I don't know when, about 7 years ago. So mm-hmm. Since then, he's working there.
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
So that is the end of my story. That is, he did an exemplary work, did proper reconnaissance, proper prospecting without disturbing the soil or water or the forest in any way. That is how that is done. Not taking excavators to the forest and digging everywhere and mining for gold, the guise of reconnaissance or prospecting.
So as far as you're concerned, that puts a line to. So what's the state of play now as we speak?
Because there's still a curfew in the area. Mm. So for 6 years or 7 years or so, it's not been there. Mm. As Shraj attested.
Right. So is he involved in any way in mining in other areas that are not affected by any curfew?
No, not that I know of.
All right. No, just as somebody, a human being who responds to things that happen around. I mean, how do you feel emotionally about all that is swirling around your name and the revelations that you've made? And what are your personal feelings? How are you taking all of this?
Oh, I have a very big heart and a very thick skin, and I know that truth stands, and that God is on my side. I believe strongly in divine providence, and I'm a very special human being. I know that. I'm blessed, and so I can take things from this precious. I've taken more precious, bigger things, maybe like this. But this is where you have your own people ganging against you and doing things. So that's okay. I mean, I'll survive. I will survive anyway.
Do you wish you could go back in time and not be involved in politics and just stay as a heart surgeon?
Now, I'm still a heart surgeon. I've always done heart surgery, even when I was a minister.
Okay.
I was operating, and I still do it. But politics is something that, when done properly, can be used to help people. I mean, the potential of helping people through politics is so big, but people don't see it that way. It is not a selfish enterprise. It is service. I have done so many things for this country without being rewarded in any way. But that is how it is. It is service. And I didn't go into politics because I wanted money or anything. Whatever I have, I have. I have worked hard all my life, and at 32 years I was a consultant surgeon in Germany. I came here at the age of 39 to build a cardiothoracic center, and I'm okay. But there's so much suffering in this part of the world that we have to do God's work, and God's work is to care for the last, the least, and the lost, the poor, the vulnerable, the widows, orphans, and people who have no means. Not only taking care of human beings, we need to take care of creation. We are not the only important things in life. If you look at what we have done, the animals, the birds, and everybody, everything, every living creature is suffering in this country. Look, carefully, when was the last time you saw a vulture?
That's a good question. I've not been looking up in the skies too much. No, I can't remember. I haven't seen a vulture in a long time.
So you watch out. You go, wherever you go, Accra, apart from maybe the slaughterhouses where you can see a few, but in the villages, they are all gone. And anytime you see vultures dying, it's only a question of time that human beings will follow. Because, see, they've lost their habitat, we have poisoned their food, and these are the scavengers. So when rats and things die in the field and the thing, there's no scavenger to take care of it. And the bodies rot, and the germs run into our water bodies, and we are all suffering. And that is part of the increasing incidence of zoonosis, that is animal diseases transmitted to men. This, I can go on and on and on and on. The way we have treated our forests, the way we have treated our farmlands, the way we don't even care about the habitat of other creatures. The way we treat even the soil with herbicide, with insecticides, killing insects, worms and things. These are microplasms that enrich our soil. There are many things we have to think about, in this country. And I think in the days and weeks to come, we'll have to talk about these things.
Professor Frimpong Boateng, do you hold yourself in any way responsible for not stopping or curbing the destruction of the environment, because you were in charge of that portfolio for 4 years?
No, I was ultimately the president is in charge. I mean, he appoints people to work for him, and if he's so happy with you, and he can change you, he can give you powers and things like that. Yes, I was the president's representative in that ministry, but ultimately I was working for a president, and he is ultimately in charge.
What would you consider to be your greatest achievement as the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation?
A lot, which maybe let's discuss another time. And for example, I mean, I believe that no country will ever develop without the capacity to build machines, to make implements, to develop processes, so you can make machines, spare parts, and so on. So I suggested that we build a machine tool center that will give us the capacity to use computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing to manufacture things, even reverse engineer certain equipment that we cannot make originally. The president agreed. We started a project in atomic energy the builders were there. We bought the initial set of machines. And since I left, everything has come to a standstill. The place is really, the machines, I'm sure these are electronic machines, they have gone rotten or something. That is one thing that breaks my heart. We did a lot of work at Atomic Kuntunsi, both a satellite station that can provide Earth observation, so we know everything that is happening in Ghana. If, for example, if a ministry needed satellite information, they have to buy from outside. And a lot of ministries buy satellite pictures. For example, roads and highways, agriculture, environment, many ministries, natural resources. But we have this. I came to some agreement with Brightside, and they have installed an Earth observation satellite that can give us accurate information about what is happening, not only on land, but also on our shores, that we can monitor even fishing and people are fishing on our territory.
Right.
I did anything. And then the third thing that I did was, with my German colleague, work out a program where we built a hybrid power station in Achimanga, Niger South. That was a pilot where we combined solar energy, pyrolysis, and biogas to create an energy system. In the process, taking care of the waste, plastic waste, biodegradable waste, and so on.
Right.
And this project is still working. It was a pilot, and it was supposed to have been replicated in the former 10 regions. So that is also there.
Right. It seems.
As I said, we can talk about it.
We can talk about it, and I'm sure we'll have a chance to have a chat with you. But finally, I must ask you: have we lost the fight against galamsey?
No. Once you're alive, we can always win.
No, but I don't know whether you're watching me, but I have in front of me 2 samples of water from River Pra. One looks like mango juice, the other looks like a cappuccino. And people are bathing and eating and drinking from this water. For them, if you tell them that we have not lost the fight against galamsey, they will say, huh? What do you tell the people of the Beposo area, the River Pra, all the rivers that have been contaminated? How do you convince them that the fight against galamsey has been lost?
What I'm saying is, now it appears lost, but then if there's a goodwill, if we come together, bury our differences, and adopt the right strategies, and not being greedy. See, initially, let me tell you, initially, we were accusing the small-scale miners association of polluting the environment. So the emphasis of my committee was on the activities of the small-scale miners association. So we met them. They were very cooperative, and we saw their programs. They said, look, when we apply for licenses, it takes a long time before we get the license to go and operate. That is why we enter the forest. We also don't know how to do sustainable mining. So we took them, 4,000 of them, to Takwa, a school of mines, to learn sustainable mining. We guided them through the registration process, and they got their licenses. We took them through a lot of processes. So their problem was solved, and thousands of them were certified to go and work, and they were working very well. So to me, that fight was won. The problem came when big people behind started bringing huge machines, 20 excavators, engaging Chinese and so on in the field. And that was not part of the work of my committee. We were supposed to guide the Ghanaians, the small-scale miners, who were supposedly spoiling the environment, to do their work well. And that's why we deal with perfection. So when you have big people behind certain companies employing Chinese and huge machines, that is the difficulty. If those people are weeded out, the fight was won. So we have to find a process of teaching the small-scale miners to do their work well as they were doing, and then get rid of big people, including politicians, everybody, big rich people, whatever, wherever they are, and they should get out of the mining business, because what they are doing is they are not using so-called small-scale methods.
And that's where we failed, haven't we? We failed to get the big people out, the big political and corporate interests out.
I agree with you, but if we identify them and take them out, the battle is won. There will be no pollution, and then get rid of those who are dredging on the water bodies. See, when I was in charge, we had a powerful team working on the river bodies, and the rivers were clean. Nobody was entering the forest reserve because I will come there and get rid of you. But I left, and now it's free for all. And the thing is being destroyed by the day.
Is the military involved in protecting some of these interests?
No. Don't let me go on with this. I mean, I think from the beginning we said we'll not fear some of these things. But I just want to make some comments to try and tell you where we did well. I mean, regularizing the small-scale mining industry, and then who came in to destroy it. So if you want to change things, let's teach the small-scale miners, let them do their work well, and then the problem is solved. The others who are rich and don't need that kind of revenue to survive should get out and go and do other businesses and give the environment to Ghanaians.
Are you by your actions and your words stepping on big toes that don't want to be stepped on?
Oh, I'm for toes, so long as you come to this world, you start stepping on toes. And that is normal. I did, and it may still happen and will happen again. It will not stop.
Professor Frimpong Boateng, thank you so much for your time. Wish you the very, very best, and God bless.